and I'm very happy to work with the government on this. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Jonathan Young.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to stand and speak today. And it's great to hear my colleagues talk about the primary industries which are undergirding the export-led recovery that this nation is experiencing. And in fact, it's good to see that New Zealand is faring far better than many nations overseas because of the hard-working New Zealanders out there who are taking our natural resources with their innovation, with their incredible skill and tenacity and their hard work against all odds, making New Zealand world leaders when it comes to primary industries. And it's wonderful to see the increase that is happening. But can I also say that alongside this increase, we are seeing innovation in how to manage our resources. I think of my own province of Taranaki, where we have a world-leading riparian planting program, certainly the best in this nation, which is protecting the streams and the waterways of our province, which has 17,000 kilometres of waterways all streaming down from Mount Taranaki to the ocean. And the farmers, without legislation, but because of their commitment to our environment, have planted every year around 300,000 plants on the edges of waterways and have fenced those waterways in order to protect our environment and enhance it for not only now but for future generations of farmers that will continue to make New Zealand such a successful place. I think the figure is around 70 to 80% of those waterways have been planted out. And credit goes not only to the farmers but the Taranaki Regional Council who have led this tremendous work. Mr. Speaker, many of my colleagues have talked about the comments of the Labour Party over past years and their attitude towards our primary industries. I guess they would say they are for it and they are for us and they are wanting to see all those areas increase and succeed and prosper. And we always go back to this comment which they have made about the sunset industry of agriculture. Mr. Speaker, you more than anyone would know in this House how important that sector is to us. We know that back in 1961 there was, in terms of the consumption of red meat in the world, that it was at a certain level which has tripled since then. And the opportunities exist for industries in New Zealand, not only in dairying but in red meat, but also in forestry and in food processing and production, to continue to forge us ahead in great success. One of the members today, Mr. Speaker, mentioned a great Taranaki company. I want to say I know that company, I know those people well, I know what they've contributed to our local economy and also to the whole community of Taranaki. And I want to just say that that company is highly regarded in Taranaki. In fact, as a young boy, on the way out from Harada, where I grew up and lived, I would go through Manaia, and my brother and I, on the way out to our parents' farm in Pihama, about to do some fencing, would always stop by Yarrow's and buy a dozen donuts. I know you can tell. We would buy a dozen donuts and we would eat them at morning tea time as we were labouring away in our school holidays fencing. And was that each? And my family, myself, my brothers, we became, I guess, great fans of that company. I went on to play basketball with the gentleman that was mentioned, and he was and continues to be a good friend of my family. An interesting story. Noel Yarrow, the person who is credited with forging the progress of that company, went across to Europe on a trade mission and there met a couple in Belgium who, after meeting him, decided to come to New Zealand, and they came to Taranaki particularly to meet him, and they loved it so much they stayed. And last Friday night we were there at the expansion of their company. They themselves are now producing incredible quality products the bakers, and they send and they also export. They send their product to 54 companies in New Zealand and export to 3 different countries around the world, such as the great street there is in Taranaki.
Honourable Annette King.
Mr. Speaker, I've been fascinated by the National Party putting up